Boruto chapter 75 is here, and this is easily one of the best chapters we've gotten in a while. Starting with a brand new Otsutsuki introduced to the story, Shibai Otsutsuki. With the bombs that Amato dropped in this chapter, this is exactly what the story needed. A brief backstory on Amato and his goals, a clarified reason on why Ada and Damon are so strong, and of course the introduction to Shibai himself. And just by the way Amato describes him, someone like Ishiki probably isn't even close to Shibai in terms of power. Shibai has consumed so many chakra fruits that he has literally ascended to a higher dimension. I don't think people understand how insane that is, since we're talking about a 4D character here. The way Amato describes him, yeah, he's different, bro. All I'm saying is the fact that he can exist in a completely higher plane that no ordinary shinobi or even Otsutsuki can confine in currently shows you that Shibai is him, and in fact, he's probably the Otsutsuki god the fandom has been raving about ever since it's been revealed back in chapter 55. What makes Shibai so powerful is the fact that Ada and Damon share his abilities, meaning that their abilities originate from him. Initially, I was super nervous on how the story was going to handle the explanation of how Amato was able to create beings like Ada and Damon with their powerful abilities, but we find out that Amato has limitations on his creations himself. Sure, he's a super genius who can create beings like Delta and Code that can fight Naruto and Sasuke, but the tier above these creations, such as Ada and Damon, have such broken abilities that it would have sounded super contrived if Kishimoto said that Amato just created them. Instead, he transplanted Shibai's abilities by giving his Senringan eyes to Ada and the divine reflection ability to Damon, thanks to Shibai's body being left over. Amato says that he's just an ordinary human being and not a god who can create such godlike abilities, which explains why he can transplant abilities to these cyborgs, like Ada and Damon. To be honest with you, this is nothing new, as characters like Orochimaru and Kabuto have been doing things of that nature since OG Naruto, with them having the ability to use other shinobi's jutsus over the years through experimentation. Of course, this is on a whole new scale, which makes it crazy with the introduction of Shinjutsu, which expanded on the power system as we find out that ninjutsu pales in comparison to the power of Shinjutsu. The ability to use ninjutsu without weaving signs, where Shibai can create storms with the wave of his hand or create thunderbolts with a roar that were equivalent to divine miracles. Abilities such as Karma, Ishika's abilities like Dakukore and Sakune Hikona, the Senringan, and Divine Reflection are classified as Shinjutsu. Also with this chapter, we finally learn about Amato's motives, as the reason why he gave Kawaki the Karma Seal is that he wants to revive his daughter using Kawaki's Karma. His daughter Akabi had her DNA mixed within Kawaki's reconstructed Karma Seal, where Amato is planning for Kawaki to implant a Karma onto a clone's body for Akabi to resurrect, since she died from an unknown illness. Having failed over and over again from trying to reproduce his daughter was exhausting on Amato, as Ikimoto did a great job showing how desperate he was to save his daughter, and eventually realizing that she fails to exist after being cloned so many times. It makes sense why Amato was looking at Delta during chapter 35, as some fans theorized that Delta was Amato's daughter at the time, which turned out to be somewhat true. After Amato's exposition, we see Momoshiki once again, and this time, Boruto's thoughts and Momo's thoughts are starting to cross over. With Boruto resurrecting with Momo's DNA combining with his DNA, a new side effect has arose, with Boruto's inner thoughts combining with Momo's, to the point where they can converse to each other using their own thoughts. Not only is Boruto taking Momoshiki's physical appearance, but also his inner thoughts and his abilities. Momoshiki in this chapter does confirm Amato's theory that Shibai has ascended into a higher dimension, but he is calling cap about the full truth about Ada's abilities, as he does state that he knows all Shinjutsu, and that Ada's love ability is not one of them, meaning that Amato is still somewhat shady despite telling the truth, which Ada does confirm that Amato was trying to recreate his daughter through cloning. And the fact that Momo is suspecting that Amato is still a capper shows you that there still might be things that we don't know about Amato truly yet. Where did Ada get her Riz ability from, and was reviving his daughter his true motive for Amato? As Momoshiki is explaining this, Boruto subconsciously uses Momoshiki's Byakugan, where Momoshiki can see the future. From there, Boruto sees a future of Team 10, Sage Mode Mitsuki, and Kawashiki in his own POV. And at least from their dialogue, everyone in the future scene sounds extremely angry and distraught, with Mitsuki raging in Sage Mode with him saying that he's been truly angered. And I do want to mention that I really liked how the text is written with the shaky font, which emphasized Mitsuki's anger, since we really haven't seen Mitsuki have a rage scene yet in the Boruto series. The anime has hinted at Mitsuki raging in Sage Mode, but it hasn't happened yet, so this culminates here, as we've never seen Mitsuki snap like this before. Shikadai mentions that this is something that a friend doesn't do when we see Kawaki on a sideways view with blood spattered on his face. Mind you, this is all in Boruto's POV, meaning that most most likely Boruto will fight the Leaf at some point against his own Leaf Shinobi and his own team as well. When I first read this page, I didn't interpret it this way, but after rereading the chapter, when Boruto looks into the future using Momoshiki's Force ability, we see a gray panel indicating that Boruto is using Momo's Byakugan, and then 2 panels later we see a current time panel of the future with Momo's Byakugan activated on Boruto's eye. However, if you notice, Boruto's karma is not activated, meaning that it's possible that Momoshiki can take over Boruto's body without Boruto losing chakra or even going unconscious. Since we now know that Boruto and Momo's thoughts can cross over with each other, what if Momoshiki can physically take over Boruto whenever he wants? Boruto of course wouldn't attack his own team or the Leaf Village, that'd be incredibly stupid. So at least through my interpretation of these 2 pages, I feel like the Leaf has mistaken Boruto for attacking his own people, with Momoshiki actually doing the act, but they have not realized it yet, with Kawaki striking Boruto down. If this is the case, that would be insane, but let me know how you guys read this page because I could be completely wrong. At least of the 2 panels of the future scene, I had thought that Kawaki and Mitsuki were going to fight, which I still think is going to happen at some point, but seeing it through the POV of Boruto, if you notice from each panel, he is literally looking at these characters. He's literally looking at Mitsuki, and the sideways view of Kawaki, it looks like he's looking up at Kawaki, who Kawaki is looking down at Boruto. And at that point, I definitely do think Kawaki at some point is going to strike down Boruto again. Maybe not kill him, but this could be the scar that Boruto gets that the fandom has been theorizing for years about. As we know that Kawaki is not afraid to strike down Boruto again. It's been built up again in these last couple of chapters ever since Boruto and Kawaki have been talking again, ever since the battle against Code. So I feel like Kawaki is just not afraid to do it again, especially if Momoshiki decides to come out and try to kill Naruto again, especially with the fact that Momoshiki did mention that he doesn't want to scrap with Kawaki because he knows that Kawaki can keep up with him and potentially kill him again in a fight, considering that Boruto is willing to sacrifice his body to allow Kawaki to kill him, as we saw in chapter 66. This is some sort of like Attack on Titan shit, man. I really like this scene. Overall, this was an amazing chapter with Ikimoto delivering with solid facial expressions, such as Boruto's distraught face of seeing the future and Amato looking completely lost when trying to save his daughter. Boruto chapter 75, in my opinion, is the best Boruto chapter we've had in a very long time. The only chapter that we've had something like this on this level in terms of excitement and actually moving the plot very well is chapter 66 with the battle between Borushiki and Kawashiki. However, I really enjoy lore chapters with the information that we gotten, as even though there wasn't really much action in this chapter, with the fact that we learned about Shibai and the expanded power system with Shinjutsu, and on top of the fact that Boruto can subconsciously use Momoshiki's abilities, this is a very good chapter. And in my opinion, I don't do ratings anymore, but this is the first chapter in a while where I'm like, yeah, this is a 10 out of 10 chapter. Of course, some people are going to disagree with me, and that's fine. With the fact that they kind of foreshadowed that Boruto is going to go against his own village, where we see the small panel of Boruto using Momoshiki's Byakugan. As we know that Boruto and Momoshiki's thoughts can cross over, at this point, Momoshiki may be able to take over Boruto's body without Boruto needing to even use his karma, run out of chakra, or lose consciousness. If that's the fact after resurrecting, this could be incredibly dangerous. So let me know what you think about this chapter in the comment section below. How do you feel after reading this chapter? Are you excited for Boruto chapter 76? I do want to say shout out all the people who came out to the live stream to read Boruto chapter 75 with me. If you don't want to catch those live streams, especially next month with Jump Fest that's coming up, definitely turn on those noties and follow me on Twitter, man. I'll announce it then. And make sure you guys check out the community tab for the channel because I'll make those announcements there as well. So let me know what you think about all that in the comment section below. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.